Hi guys, Chris here. Wanted to show you some of the modifications I did to my Hobby King Quantum V2 video goggles. Let me pull them out of the hard case. Yeah, that's one of the problems, is that actually, if you get light on that LCD screen gives a goodbye. So I actually found this abandoned in a field, a little Playmate igloo cooler. And apart from looking super dorky when you go out to fly, or maybe like you're packing a lunch or something, he's gonna go eat his lunch. Actually does a really good job and is a perfect fit for my video goggles. Let me show you how I have mine set up. I've modded these goggles because when I set them up according to manufacturer specs, it puts such a great amount of stress on the bridge of my nose and right here below my eyes that it actually made flying not just uncomfortable but painful. The really garbage foam that they give you was so hard it just didn't seem to help at all. So, I did a pretty typical job of replacing it with some like insulating foam, self-stick insulating foam. This has made it so much more comfortable. So much more comfortable. And you've probably noticed this goofy setup. I didn't stick my battery here. I will also show you my alternate setup for the video switcher, which I'll be running a 5-volt camera out of the front here, because this 5-volt camera is from, I can't remember who makes it, Amway. I don't even know how to say that. It's just a perfect fit right here. And then I'll be powering it off of a BEC. I couldn't find a step-down regulator. If I could sell those personally, I would do it because they just sell out so quickly. But I have moved my video transmitter to the back of the goggles right here. The reason I've done that, actually there's a few different reasons I've done that. It takes all the pressure off the bridge of your nose and off this area right here. And it also extends the signal above your head instead of your antennas being here. I've stuck my battery. I had to really move the straps in as tight as I possibly could because my head, I guess I have a tiny head, not much brains in there. So I needed to have them all the way tightened as far as possible. And then it was still just a little bit loose. So I actually stuck my battery with a Velcro strap. I'll show you right here. Right in the loop between the tightener and the front clip here. So by sticking the battery in here and then putting the soft side of the Velcro against my head, not the really tough side, I've secured it using a Velcro strap right here. Instead of, once again, putting it up here, because the more weight you can get on the back of your head, the more comfortable these goggles are. And I ran my wires, of course, up through the bottom here through this strap, and then I just used this. This is where you put your video transmitter, and you put your battery over here. But I like to put them all back and all on the same side too, so I can run all my wires really on one side. I didn't like the wires right here. It really seemed like it was like stuffing up into my nose, and I don't know if you like that. I don't like that. So I've ran my cables right along the side. I just used zip ties to secure the cables kind of in little bundles along here. Now I did have to make a purchase in order to do this modification, and that was I bought a right angle, what is that, 1/8 inch, is basically RCA plug. You got to find one, however, that will support video, because some of them only support audio, and if you don't get the one that supports video, it's not worth it. But I got a right angle plug that's an extension. I couldn't find one exactly the same size, so it was a little bit long. I looped it around and then brought it over here. So I think that cost me $4 or $5, $8 shipped from New York. The other variation of this setup that I'm going to show you with the video switcher is completely free. You don't have to make any other purchases other than you do have to purchase your camera, and that's it. So and I'll show you that setup here in a minute. I put the video transmitter, let me show you how I've got this thing set up. There is some kind of a loop here. I don't know what it was originally intended for. The instructions didn't talk about it, but I'm using the FR632, actually fits perfectly in that loop without stretching it too much, like this. And then two antennas on here actually does a really good job of keeping it in place. It doesn't move. It doesn't move at all. Why do I have the antennas tilted back like this? Well, because I noticed I have a problem when I fly FPV. I'm a head dragger. You might be the same way. I don't know why I can't seem to train myself to put my head up when I fly. I always drop my head. Even when I think my head is up, then I do a flyby, yeah, my head's down. So this way, my antennas are up here, like this, and when I drag my head, like usual, my antennas are now facing out, like this. The correct orientation. One of the problems I had with my Fat Shark is that as I'm dragging my head, your antenna, even though it's, you know, it's bent up like this, my antenna is now facing out like this. So my signal was really being degraded. I wasn't getting the kind of range that I was really hoping I would get. And I thought it was the goggles at first. No, it's me. You know, weak neck or whatever. But this particular setup is so comfortable on me now, and the field of view is so wide that I can't even fly with my Fat Sharks anymore. This thing has spoiled me. It's big, it's dorky. You cannot throw this thing on and have people go, oh man, that's cool. They go, what the heck is that? Especially if you're pulling it out of a cooler. In order to get it into the cooler, though, I have to twist this. This neoprene sock is really nice, very comfortable. But I have to twist it and put it like this. So if you notice, the antennas are always in the correct orientation when I pull them back out like that. But now I will show you the video switcher mod I've done. Okay, before I show you the video switcher mode, let me show you a close-up here so you can get an idea. I ran tape along here to, there was a little bit of light leakage here. I also ran it on the front, right here, because that's where light was leaking in. But this is for your video switcher. This was for your VTX. And I really noticed the 632 that I'm flying with, dual diversity, really stretch this out. So I ran my cable right here, and then I ran it over on this side. I just ran it through that VTX hole over here. This was the extra piece I had to buy right there. So it's a female stereo plug to a male right angle, and I secured them with zip ties right through the clips here. And then this is how I have the video transmitter set up right here. Now the thing is, when you turn it on, you plug it in, so there's a plug right there, and the battery plug's right next to it. When you turn it on, you can either do this to turn it on, push the button, or I just, by memory now, I can just push the button. I know exactly where it's at. I can pull this over, take a quick peek, watch for the green light, ready to go. So this is where the battery was supposed to go, right here. But as I showed you before, my battery is now right here. It's in between the tightener and the front ring that secures it all together. And this adds a little bit more tension because I have a small head, and also puts the battery plugs really right in proximity to each other and gets them out of the way of the nose area right here, which was really, really annoying. Alright guys, here is my setup using a front-facing camera. I have my AO Amway tiny, it's a tiny little camera here. It's 5 volts. Ran the cables down here. I chose to power it through a BEC because it's 5 volts, and the little camera switcher here
which this came from another kit, and I blew it up, being a moron. Testing the voltage from it, crossed my leads, and it went kapoof. But this transmits whatever voltage that you put into it. That's what voltage comes out of it. So I'm powering with a 3-cell battery, 3-cell LiPo. So 12 volts are coming out of here, and that makes your camera go poof. So I'm powering it with a BEC. Then I ran the signal wire into the camera switcher. And I'll show you that setup because some people have been asking about how exactly to set up the video switcher. And then the cable, this supplied cable that came with the kit, is run back to the video receiver and plugged in right here. But I'll go over the wiring here using this little one that I blew up. Alright, so let me get in closer. Alright guys, I'm going to use one of these video switchers that I blew up to show you how to wire this thing up. On the left over here is the DC in. It's a barrel plug like this that comes out of your battery cable and gets plugged right into here. Now over here you have video in. Video in is one of these stereo cables that gets plugged in and goes out to your video receiver. And this middle plug here uses one of these stereo plugs to go out to your monitor. So just to recap, this is voltage from your wiring harness from your battery. This one goes out to the monitor on the goggles, and this one over here goes to your video receiver. And then up here at the top you have a JST plug which you hook up power to your camera. Right here at the top is where you plug in. It's got signal, power, and ground. So you can actually run your power through this or through the JST. I just chose to run a single lead to the signal to the camera, and then power my lead through the JST, or power my camera through the JST.